What's going on, y'all? What's cracking? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button as soon as y'all come on in here. I'm in my son's room right now, uh, making this content, but it's all good. Rock out with me. And we got a little conversation to have. And I've had this conversation on my channel several times. I recognize that a lot of people are not going to like what I have to say on this topic because of how much Pac is loved, how much he is cherished, how much he is in that people are enamored with him and his personality, what he stood for, the music that he made, etc. But I gotta be truthful about something, y'all. Like I have to be truthful about something with this. Um, Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. Okay, my bad, y'all. I had to answer my phone call real quick. Is it possible to find somebody ever did, by checking their YouTube channel? I don't know. Something I don't do it, Mac. It's almost Christmas time. So are you about to ruffle some feathers? I know I'm about to ruffle some feathers, y'all, but I have to tell the truth about this. Because I see this conversation being had about Diddy quite often. Diddy has, you can say he's responsible for a lot of things, right? You can say he's done a lot of wrong. And I would agree with you all, right? This is not about me protecting Diddy at all. But to me, when people say he had something to do with Pac being unalived or Pac having his life taken away, I think that is the furthest thing from the truth. The fact of the matter is, and I'm a big fan of Pac's music. I am. I love a lot of his music. I be listening to a lot of his music going to work, coming home from work. I'm talking about on the weekend, all of that. I look at interviews and everything. But the fact of the matter is, Pac was a very, very emotional man. Very. Too emotional, right? He would be unhinged a lot of times. He would do certain things without thinking. He would think irrationally a lot of times because of his emotions and how high strung of a person he was, right? Pac, for those who don't know, y'all all know this whole situation. When he was after the Tyson fight, Pac sees Orlando Anderson, Baby Lane, right? A notorious Crip. Notorious Crip. Orlando Anderson has issues with Mob Piru members who are people who are around Death Row on a regular basis. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got issues, people surrounding Death Row. Orlando Anderson got issues with Pirus around Pac. Orlando Anderson is supposedly wearing a chain, or he had a chain snatched, a Death Row chain. He snatched a Death Row chain. Pac sees Orlando, and Pac and Orlando look just alike. It's very eerie. Pac and Orlando Anderson look just alike. Pac sees Orlando Anderson, right, and he knows that he got the chain, and Pac just goes up to Orlando Anderson and starts stealing off of him and start beating him and stomping him out, right? Now, Pac don't got nothing to do with none of this beef at all. He has nothing to do with the Crip beef, with the Pyrus. He has nothing to do with that. He just know he Death Row, and the dudes around him got an issue with Orlando Anderson. He know a Death Row chain came up missing, so Pac takes it upon himself to insert himself in some street beef he got nothing to do with, nothing at all, and start stomping out Orlando Anderson, whooping out Orlando Anderson. Right? He said choke, no joke. I don't choke be lying or sometimes too, Maya. So I don't know, right? What Pac did just presented the opportunity. No, 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 no. So let me say this. Pac did what he did present an opportunity for him to do it. No, he put himself in a street beef he had nothing to do with. You seen when Pac coming through there. You seen how Pac was coming through the dang all charged up off of a lot of emotion. A lot of emotion. And he stomps out Orlando Anderson viciously. Orlando Anderson is a known killer. He's not a dude to be trifled with, not a dude to be played with in any type of way. Pac is not a Pac is not a dude that's unaliving people in the street at all. None whatsoever. But he inserted himself in the beef and put hands on a dude who is known for getting busy in the street like that. Right? Now Orlando Anderson gets stomped out and embarrassed by a rapper. Like, this is not a dude that's a pirate, like that's known in the street. Like, the Pac is a rapper, an entertainer. And for Orlando Anderson, he looking at it like, bro, I can't. He was probably embarrassed. Like, hold on, I can't let a dude that's a rapper, an entertainer, whoop me out and stomp me out in front of everybody. I can't have that. None whatsoever. So he said, I gotta get him up out of here. For real. And that's really what it was. Pac inserting himself in something that had nothing to do with him at all. Right? See, and he died being loyal, and see, loyal to a fault. Let me paint the picture for y'all. I'm from the south side of Chicago, Illinois. Y'all are familiar with a lot of the drill rappers here in Chicago and what goes on. You know, some of y'all are, right? You know, it's some GD rappers that's big in Chicago, but the biggest rappers in Chicago, Illinois, come from the drill scene are Black Disciples, BDs, right? If I sign with a BD rapper, and the BD rapper I signed, we got issues with some GD raps, some GD dudes, right? And I just go up to a GD dude and just steal off of him and start whooping him because the dude I'm signed to got issues with him. What do you think is going to happen to me? What do you think is going to happen to me? Bro, they're going to kill me, bro. Like, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to say, man, what? I know he ain't doing that. When they see me, it's up. It's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When they see me, it's on site at any point because I have now inserted myself in something that has nothing to do with me at all. So, okay, cool. You want to jump into this? Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So they're going to say, Mac, when I see you, you know what time it is. And I can't get mad at anybody else if something go on with me because I just jumped into something that had nothing to do with me. I'm just signed with these dudes. I'm not ingrained in nothing they got going on. Like, what? Like, that to me, and as a young man, I always felt like that. Like, and because I don't, again, I'm not from California. I'm not from LA. I just know how street politics come from where I'm from. Man, what? If I put hands on a dude that's respected, that's a real, like a street dude that's really a dude that out here taking people's lives, it's going to come back to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, I always would say, like, if let's say if Lil Durk or one of them signed a dude that's not a street dude, boy, you better stay yourself out of the beef they got. Because it don't got nothing to do with you. You just signed to him. What they got going on in the street, that's real warfare with them. You don't got nothing to do with that. Pac got into it with Baby Lane, Orlando Anderson. And Orlando Anderson got embarrassed. Like, I know the dude that's the rapper not putting hands on me. Oh, I cannot let that slide. I can't. He couldn't. And I know it's not right to take any man's life at all. I don't co-sign it at all. But this is what happens in the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once you put yourself in some stuff, you not exempt from nothing happening to you. We can like your music. We can love you as an entertainer, love you as a rapper, but you're not exempt from something being done to you. Yes, Diddy had problems with Pac. Yeah, Diddy had some Crips around him, but Orlando Anderson didn't need nothing. No, he didn't need the word from Diddy to do nothing to Pac. He was gonna do that anyway. Just because he jumped in street politics, right? It didn't matter if Diddy didn't have to put that battery in his back to do something for Baby Lane was taking people out of here, allegedly. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? He was allegedly already a menace out here. So do you think he really need Diddy to put a battery in his back to do that? No. So I'm just a firm believer. Like, nah, I'm a firm believer in street politics gonna play out how they play out, regardless of anybody, what else going on. Once you put yourself in street politics, I think that's just how it go. Yeah, and when being around death row, Pac got influenced by gang culture, which happens to a lot of people, right? When people just notice how many people y'all know go out to LA and they become infatuated with gang warfare out, street warfare, street politics, gang culture. I can name so many of them. Soulja Boy, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne. So many dudes go out to California and they become enamored with that culture, gang culture, and they want to be a part of it in some way, some shape, form, or fashion. I don't know if it got to do with the movie Colors or what, but they get infatuated with that. And I don't think Pac was above that, right? He started shouting out mob, Pyru hollering out mob. Didn't he have mob tattooed on him? Right? Now, some would say that stands for money over BITCHs, but some can say, was you really trying to claim mob Pyru? You know, I'm not saying Pac was a punk. You don't have to be a punk, though, right? You don't have to be a punk, none whatsoever. But you can still get influenced by street culture. Like, you don't have to be a punk. You can get influenced by street culture. It can happen to people, you know? So I don't think you have to be a punk at all. I'm not saying Pac was a punk at all. I do think he was influenced by it, though. I really do. Hanging around them dudes, I think he really got it. And I don't think that he was above that. I'm a big fan of Pac's music, all of that. But again, he was very irrational at times, very high strung, very emotional to a fault, like ready to fly off the hinge at any point at times. And when you have a personality like that, unfortunately, hey, you might get it. He was very impulsive. And when you have a personality like that, you're probably gonna get into some stuff you don't got no business being into because you just fly off the hinge. You fly off the hinge. And I know it's controversial to say that because Pac is so beloved. You know what I'm saying? But I really think like he was still young when he passed, only 25 years old. Now, see, I don't like that excuse though, honey, right? Because if I do that at 25 years old, y'all gonna say Max should have known better. He grown. He a grown man. At 25 years old, I had a 7-year-old daughter, right? So y'all not gonna give me that out. If y'all say he was young, y'all gonna say, hey man, why he doing that? Right? He was a young guy, but again, I believe he's old enough to understand, right? You keep your hands to yourself and stay out of street politics. I understood that at 14, 15, y'all. No disrespect to Pac, but at 14 and 15, I understand what happens in street politics, right? So I understand why I knew at 14, 15, I understood the ramifications of everything that go on. I wasn't even a street dude, but I understood if I get into something that don't got nothing to do with me, what harm that can come to me, what harm can come back to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and that's the only thing about it. Yes, Pac was 25 years old. That's young, but he was old enough to understand that certain things you should just have no dealings with. You know what I mean? Certain things you should have no dealings with. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? Because again, I'm telling y'all right now, people that don't know me, if I did something like that, people just gonna say, man, he should have known better. He supposed to know this, then the third. And I'm not absolving Diddy of all the other stuff he's done, because I do believe he's done some foul stuff. And I do believe he's done heinous things without question. I'm not saying he hasn't, right? I'm not saying, oh, he's a good guy. I'm not saying Diddy ain't done no wrong. No, I do believe he's done a lot of wrong stuff. I just don't think that situation with Pac, that had nothing to do with him. I think that had to do with him jumping a known killer, right? And it's crazy how much him and Orlando Anderson, they look just alike. It's so crazy. It's eerie how much they look alike. You know, it's because it's crazy. But I just know, like, and again, I'm not from California, so you know, y'all can enlighten me because this happened on y'all homeland, y'all home turf. I just understand like what happens, and when you put yourself in street politics in a line of fire. When you put yourself in street politics, you put yourself in a line of fire. What did I tell y'all the other day? There's a reason why I don't do the drill, like I don't cover drill like street wars in Chicago. I don't do that because I know street dudes are very emotional. And the moment I get to saying stuff that I read on Reddit, things that have not been proved by police, things that have not been, like really things that are not public information. Once I start doing that, I could put myself in something, and I'm in Chicago, Illinois, every single day. So I understand and I'm showing my face on the internet. I'm not one of these vloggers that don't show their face. You don't know what they look like. That's different. People can do that. You don't know, you're not showing your face. I'm showing my face. Yeah. So it's certain stuff I just know I could not cover because there are certain things that have not been, it's not public information. And once I get on here talking about this dude did that, this dude did that, this dude did that, hey, I could put myself into something, right? So that's me understanding that, hey, man, once I involve myself in street politics, things can go left. So let me just be cool. And I think that Pac, he got around the like Pyrus or whatever, and I think he started to really put himself in certain things that he should not have been put in, honestly. And even MC8, the legendary MC8, talks about the fact that he think Pac went backwards the moment that he started to like insert himself in that type of stuff, because he didn't have to do that. It's sad because he was a young man, but he didn't have to do that at all. It was, he could have kept making his music, doing his thing. Now again, he was gonna be surrounded by Mob Pyrus and stuff due to Suge Knight and all of that. But yeah, MC8 himself said, man, Pac went backwards when he did that, you know? Um, so I think you need to stop thinking. It's all right. Not just that, I think he's out of first shoe that made him feel so. I do think that. Hey, look, what did he say on Two of America's Most Wanted? And they wonder how I live with 5 shots. Did he say brothers is hard to kill on my block? That's a fire line. That is a fire line for that is a fire line. Like two of America's Most Wanted is an amazing song for real. And that line really, because I used to be like, who had the hardest verses between Pac and Snoop? But that line solidified it. But for real, I do think that. Giving Diddy's character, and again, I understand why people think, oh, why people would say Diddy, he did something, because Diddy is known to be doing a lot of shiesty things. I just don't think Orlando Anderson needed Diddy to do anything to Pac at all. I don't think he needed anybody. That's like when people be like, I'm gonna say this. I'm this is a public situation, so I'll speak on this, right? King Von. King Von had his life taken away from him in Georgia, right? Now you got people, the government, Lil Durk is in federal custody. They saying, man, Durk was trying to, he was really trying to, he really sent some dudes to get revenge for King Von, right? And I'm telling y'all, Durk, they didn't need no money. They didn't need nothing from Durk to do that. Like if they was gonna, people was gonna do that regardless. Now I'm not saying that I know what happened in that situation, but I'm telling you right now, they didn't need an okay from Durk to do anything to anybody affiliated with King Von 9, right? It just, they didn't need no money from Durk to do none of that. They was gonna do that regardless. You know what I'm saying? Please put the shit to the up. Tupac was angry about being shot. Diddy might not have done it and had nothing to do with. That doesn't mean he hadn't put a hat on him too, right? Right. I mean, I'm not saying that he would have wanted Pac gone, but I just think in that particular situation, I don't think that was Diddy. I just think that was Orlando Anderson being upset that a rapper stomped him out. A dude that's not a gang member, a dude that's not of the same cloth as him. And when I say that, I'm not trying to be derogatory to Pac at all. I'm just saying Baby Lane, from what I hear, Orlando Anderson was a dude who was a menace out here in the street. And so that's all I'm saying. Like, you know, and when that happens, when a dude that's a menace gets stomped out by a guy that's a rapper, he's gonna take that personally. And they're gonna be like, hold on, I know the rapper can't stomp me out like this. Not the dude that's making music. You know what I mean? I mean, he wasn't gonna take that lightly from a dude that's another dude that's of the cloth of him. He wasn't gonna take that lightly from a dude that's of the same cloth as him. But also, when you look at, like, I know that's like the I'm not calling Pac this, right? At all. Like, you ever seen like a dude get embarrassed? You ever seen how a dude responds when a guy that's a nerd take his girlfriend? When the guy that's a nerd take his girlfriend, he gets super embarrassed. Now he really want to do something to the dude because he feel like you ain't of the same cloth as me. A street dude, when a street dude girlfriend get taken by a nerd, he really get mad and want to do something because he embarrassed, because how the hell you gonna take my girl? Now he want to do something to the nerd guy because he mad, right? I kind of play the equivalent to that in this situation. Orlando, like, man, and Randall had a reputable his reputation preceded himself. It's not funny at all. But yeah, he looking like, oh man, I can't let him just get away with doing something to me. And I think that's really what it came down to ultimately. And again, this is not a indictment on Pac. And I don't want nobody to think I don't like Pac. And I, like, listen, man. I listen to, first of all, I listen to All Eyes on Me at least once a month, literally. And Me Against the World, truthfully. So yeah, I just think that when it came down to that situation, I think Pac could have taken himself out of that. Truthfully. And even dudes that's from California, they make reference to that. Now, Glasses Malone, he went a little far. G Malone made a video coming from the perspective of Baby Lane, right? From Orlando Anderson. Coming from the perspective of Orlando Anderson. And he like, yo, and he was, I guess, given the perspective of a guy like Orlando, or a guy like Orlando Anderson, how they would feel if that happened to them at the hands of Pac. If Pac beat you up and jumped you and stomped you out and all of that, right? And what comes with that. And Start From Scratch, the game song from the documentary, when he said, I would have told Pac not to stomp out Orlando, told Puffy and Big about the Rampart scandal, right? But he said, I would have told Pac, that part, I would have told Pac not to stomp out Orlando. That's a dude from California that understands that possibly, very, very possibly, very likely, that Pac's unaliving had to do with something that happened with him and Orlando Anderson, you know? So that's really what it is. And again, it's not about me disrespecting Pac or not liking Pac. To me, it makes, I try to use, and sometimes they say common sense shouldn't apply to everything. They say common sense shouldn't apply to everything. Sometimes common sense does not apply in certain situations. There are some things that's just like unexplainable. But in this situation, I tried to use, like, I always looked at it from a standpoint of me understanding how the streets work, even though I'm not a street guy at all. But I do understand the ramifications of jumping in the street and doing certain things and what comes from that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I always looked at it like, if I was signed to a famous Black Disciple rapper from Chicago and I put hands on a known GD, a known gangster disciple, and I put hands on him, and I'm not a Black Disciple, I'm not involved in a street warfare, what could happen to me if I do that? You know what I'm saying? It could be grave consequences and repercussions, you know? You say you think his track record show, yeah, and I think you could have a track record for doing things, but you may not have done that situation in particular. I do believe that. I do believe you could do all type of stuff. I do believe he did heinous things to Kim Porter, all of that. I believe all of that. I just don't believe that Orlando Anderson needed any ammunition from Diddy to do anything to Pac. In that situation, I look at that as a separate situation. And I'm a man who thinks like that. I can think you have done all of this, but I think, damn, that might have been something else right there. You know what I mean? So that could have been a whole other situation. That's just me personally. So and that's how I look at it. You're gonna speak on Dale saying, yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I'm gonna finish this topic though first. He didn't, but that doesn't mean Diddy didn't. Diddy didn't do it. I mean, you're right. You can say that don't mean he didn't do it. I just don't. I don't think he did that situation. Yeah, yeah. This is just hard to find progress. Yeah. I don't think he did that situation. Other stuff, yeah. I think with Pac, that was just the streets playing out how they play out. Unfortunately, I think that was the streets playing out how they play out. Uh, Puffy has had too much death around him to not be responsible for most of it, including the college, the club, Pac, Biggie. Um, yeah, but I honestly, man, I'm one of them individuals that just think like Pac got involved in some stuff that he should have just never been a part of. Diddy definitely put it in. So Diddy set Orlando up to get him jumped. Right. Now that's the only part that people be like, so Diddy set Orlando up to get him jumped so he can kill him later. But King, people are going to say that, well, Orlando was probably mad about the situation, but he wasn't going to do nothing until Diddy paid him, which I don't believe. I think Orlando Anderson probably was going to always do something to Pac as long as he can get close to him. And Pac was around and outside in LA, California, all of that. So I don't think it's no conspiracy attached to that. I think that's just street stuff. Like even when people be saying stuff like okay, it's Chicago. It be people that be like Lil Durk is sacrificing his friends and his homies. And I tell people, no, he's not. These are like people around Durk are known street individuals with high ranking reputations. Okay. And once you're in the streets, you have enemies. His enemies, your enemies could catch you 10 years from now. And they gonna get that. They can still get you. Durk ain't sacrificing his friends and his homies. No, these are known street dudes. That's why I be telling people. Like people like Durk is getting his friends sacrificed. No, he's not. These dudes are gang members, active with known reputations. And and certain consequences can escape you for 5-10 years. They could come back 10 years from down the road, they can still somebody can see you outside and do something to you. That ain't Lil Durk. Wasn't Big L in the way of a bullet for his brother? No, they said Big L brother was on some they said Big L was doing shiesty stuff for his brother, from what I know. Like when you hear Mace talking about how Big L set him up on 2 different occasions. Mace has talked about that on It Is What It Is. Big L set me up on 2 different occasions, tried to get me lined up, tried to get me jumped by Fat Joe, right? Then tried to get me robbed for my Rolex. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just think people like to think of, because conspiracy theories are big on YouTube. They are the highest rated, like those videos get the most views on the internet. Matter of fact, Jess, go look up Mace and Big L. And Mace will tell 2 stories about Big L trying to get him lined up. Right? So yeah. So Diddy rapping about putting 1 million on someone's head and making folks disappear in their bracket is coincidence? No, man. Like I don't think Puffy is above doing any of this at all. None whatsoever. But I just don't think that situation is how they played out. It didn't happen in Chicago. They took him to Atlanta to be taken out. Nah, Lorraine. Von was a street dude to the core. And he was very impulsive. They didn't take him nowhere. He got into it with a dude in Atlanta and put hands on another dude, and that dude friends had a firearm on them. Dirk didn't set Vaughn up to be unalive. That was Vaughn. Vaughn was a hot-headed individual. You know what I'm saying? And things come from that. When you're a hot-headed, impulsive person, unfortunately, that does not always do you favors. Same thing with Pac. Pac was very impulsive, very hot-headed. And that's never a way to live your life. Like, okay, and this is no disrespect to Pac. My father used to always tell me, Malcolm, you think before you carry out certain actions, right? Don't just act impulsively, because once you do something, there are certain things you cannot take back, right? Once I jump somebody and put hands and feet on them, there's no taking it back, right? So there's no taking it back whatsoever, right? Anger does cloud the mind 100%. But my father used to always tell me, when you get mad, take a deep breath and think about what you're doing before you do it. Because once you do something, there is no taking it back. Let me tell y'all something. I work a woman that works with me. She told all of us at the job that her brother caught his girlfriend cheating with another guy in bed. She caught him cheating. I mean, he caught her cheating. Do you know her brother took the life of his girlfriend and the guy? Been in jail for 25 years. After he did it, he was stressing out. He went through shock. He went through a state of all of that because he couldn't believe he'd done that. And he let his anger get the best of him. So you have to, even when things are terrible and you find out some horrible information, you got to take a deep breath and think about certain things. Because once we do certain stuff, there's no coming back from it, unfortunately. And like, that's why my father used to always try to tell me the importance of regulating my emotions. You know what I mean? Because you can get really upset and get mad. You can say things that you can't take back. You can do things you can't take back. You know? So, yeah. What about Pac being popped 5 times in the studio? He said no one knew he was going to the studio, but Diddy, Biggie, etc. Was that a coincidence too? So you think Biggie set him up, is what you're saying? I mean, I think Pac was around some dudes that was shiesty. What, Haitian Jack now? Not Haitian Jack, I'm sorry. Stretch and all of them. But I mean, do you really think? I'm not saying Diddy is above doing other things. I think that situation in particular is what I'm saying. Why do y'all think I'm saying Diddy didn't do anything? Why do y'all think I'm saying that because Diddy didn't do this, y'all think I'm clearing him of everything else? Sometimes I think y'all hear, sometimes y'all hear, if I say he didn't do this, that means he's innocent all across the board. No. I just think in this situation, yeah, that situation did not have anything to do with Diddy, in my opinion. Like, once you put hands on a street dude, it gets very dangerous. You know? Do you know people on social media don't have thinking skills? Yeah, man. I think, yeah, critical thinking skills is very important in today's society. You got to think critically and think about what could come from certain things when you carry out certain actions. What could come from those things? And yeah, he said Pac stayed in the Bay Area instead of going to LA, he'd still be alive today, in my opinion. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I think maybe not getting affiliated or with like them street dudes may have kept him away from certain things for sure. But Pac was still like a high strong person too, so we would hope that nothing would have ever happened, you know? Even even Mike Tyson told Pac about the dudes he was messing with in New York. To say Big L, I had to stop back to say this Big L issue. Did you go look at it, Jess? You went to go watch. You must have. Did you go watch what happened? What May said about Big L? Like watching that, you be like, man, you know, when you listen to what May said and Mace, and in the part of the video, right, when Mace explains him getting robbed for the Rolex, it is what it is. They took out a certain part because I think they were afraid that, not afraid, they didn't want Big L's people getting upset. But after Mace almost gets robbed for his Rolex, he said when they went down to police that, like, I guess his friends, I think he said his friends was in jail. Mace homies was in jail. And the dude that tried to rob Mace told them that Big L sent him up, set him up. Big L put him up to robbing Mace. Like, Mace homies was in jail with the dude that tried to rob him, that tried to rob Mace. And the dude, they said, what? Basically, they pressed him. And dude said, Big L sent me. Right? Big L had me do that. Now, why would he holler that out? He didn't know, like, the dude didn't know Mace and Big L had already had like a certain stuff going on. He was like, why would this dude holler that out? Like, Big L sent me to do that, you know? So yeah. But so yeah, and like Andy, I'm like you saying, I'm not saying Diddy was above doing anything to Pac at all. Yeah, I think he would have done something to Pac for sure. I just think the Orlando Anderson and them guys, they beat Diddy to whatever punch he was trying to do because of what happened. Mac, people want to get 50 Cent past all the horrible things he did. You know that. Fifth got a fan base that is so loyal and true. They don't want to believe nothing bad about Fifth. So even when I made the video about how corny it was for Fifth to be even when I made the video about how corny it was for Fifth to be doing a documentary about Diddy, because really I think this really is about, I think 50 doing a documentary, which is next level. I think this is about 50 being mad that Diddy took Daphne Joy. And Fifth got mad about that. I think he took it to another level. People don't want to believe that because they think 50 Cent don't care about nothing and he don't got no emotions. But he's a human being. He's not a robot. But Fifth fans, his biggest fans, think he's just above having feelings about anything. He's the most rational and he's the most heartless person you could ever think. Like, he don't care about nothing. And everybody cares about something to a degree, you know? Fifth is a sociopath, though. He is definitely 50 is a sociopath, but yeah. He said, everybody knows Baby Lane did it. Yeah, but I think people don't want to believe that because conspiracy theories are very big on YouTube, man. And like who else said it? After the Illuminati, remember when the Illuminati videos became popular on YouTube around like 2008? Illuminati videos became popular. And so conspiracy videos get the most views on YouTube. And so people would rather believe a conspiracy theory around Pac, like the government did it, Diddy did it, and Diddy did, versus, man, Pac just jumped into some street stuff that had nothing to do with him. And unfortunately, the streets played out how they usually play out. It's just this time it played out with a guy that we really, really like. And they played out with a guy whose music is beloved and people are enamored with, you know? Remember, everything is a conspiracy theory until the truth is revealed. I mean, to a degree, but I mean, I never believed the government took Pac out. I just never believed that. You know what I'm saying? Even as a kid, I didn't believe that. But I mean, hey, to each his own. So I hated the Illuminati conspiracy theory era because 95% was nonsense. Yeah, I mean, they had like rappers who were not even billionaires or close to being billionaires in the Illuminati, and it's like they not letting these black Negroes up in here. They got like a few $1 million up in here. Like, come on, no. But when those videos came out, they were very popular and people really attacked, like people got hooked on them videos. And so that's why conspiracy theory content does very well on YouTube. Let me see. Purple Paradox Lady Trucker says, I hate conspiracy stuff, but your channel can hold my attention even if I don't agree with you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a ton, Purple Paradox. And look, when I say these things, y'all, I just want to be very, very clear. I'm not trying to denigrate Pac in no way. Y'all, my name on here is Machiavelli Mills. Now, my name is not Machiavelli Mills because of Pac, even though I'm a fan of Pac's music. I got the Machiavelli from Max B, Bigavelli, right? My homies called me Mac Mills in high school, right? So I got the Machiavelli because Bigavelli, you know. But my homies, my nickname in high school was Mac Mills. That's what my homies called me. So yeah. Illuminati is a racist theory. So they because they don't think black people can be successful. Would you say? They don't think black people can be successful otherwise. Yeah, I always said that. Mac has to put those disclaimers out. No, man, Charlie X. I think people, Boss Don, Bigger Val. Yeah, I was a big Max B fan, so that's where the Machiavelli come from, Bigavelli. But yeah, Charlie, I think Pac is so beloved though. I think when people say anything about Pac, people get defensive, and I understand it because Pac is I mean, he had a profound impact on music, on hip hop culture. I mean, and Pac was saying things back then in interviews that was very profound, even how he felt about capitalism. I admired that part about Pac, how he talked about capitalism and why do you need five like all these jet planes and all of that. He would talk about capitalism in a way that I really admired, you know. So I understand people's attachment to Pac all the way. I get it, but I do want to just say that I know like certain things happen how they happen. Like, I'm gonna use an example. If LeBron James, because y'all know I'm a big LeBron James fan. If LeBron James did what Pac did, I would say, hey, LeBron put himself in it as well. This is not something that is exclusive to Pac. This is exclusive would be if anybody that I know did this, I would say, man, um, hey, they inserted themselves in something that they shouldn't have inserted themselves in. And that's even if LeBron James did that. So yeah. So I love Pac and I'm from Ohio. He made songs about and from black women too. Yeah, for sure. Like Biggie may be a better lyricist, but Pac made more impactful songs as far as like what was happening with the state of Black America. He spoke to the people more, right? It wasn't just flash and pizzazz. He made songs that were dedicated to women, dedicated to Black struggle. He made songs dedicated to Black folks living in the ghettos of America, trying to make it out, etc. So yeah, you know, now Pac was a better lyricist to me, and truthfully, I don't think that's up for debate. Some people would say, you know, but yeah, and Biggie has some horrorcore stuff in there too, which some of that I do not like. I'm a big fan of Big's music, but I do not like S Thoughts, that song. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say the word because if I think I don't know how YouTube censorship works these days, but I try not to get my videos demonetized by using certain words. But y'all know what the song I'm talking about, S Thoughts. And I don't like that line he says in What's Beef. When he says, don't you know, he said his man Gutter kidnaps kids and does something to them and throws them over the bridge. I hate that line. Like that's way too far. Way too far. Like I hate that line. I never say that line when I'm rapping What's Beef. You know? Yeah, Raven Simone bar, like, yeah, he getting way too, yeah. Some of that I'll just be like, hey, be cool. Be cool. And I don't that when he rap like that, yeah, that I don't like that aspect of it. But Big is a technically speaking, he's an amazing technical rapper. From delivery to flow, all of that. But yeah, man, but I just, in my opinion, I think that those situations would have played out how they played out. I don't think Orlando Anderson needed Diddy to do anything to Pac. I just think he was already motivated to do something to Pac from Pac jumping on him. And when you jump on a dude who is a known menace in the street, certain stuff gonna come from that, unfortunately. Gutter said he didn't talk to Pac after that song for 3 weeks. I remember I saw that. I think he might have said that. Did he say that on Vlad TV? Or he said that on My Expert Opinion? I think he said that on My Expert Opinion, maybe, where he said he didn't talk to Pac for like 3 weeks after that song. Because he's like, why would you put that on my name? And Gutter was like, he had just got out of jail and something like that. And he was like, Why would I don't want people thinking that's what I was in jail for, doing something crazy like that? Why would you say that? Yeah, Charlie X. When Diddy like Big, that line from Big is crazy. That line is ridiculous. That's another line I never say. Cause I don't care. People be like, that's a line, it's a joke from Richard Pryor. I do not care. I'm like, why was you saying that line, Big? Why you got to say that line? You ain't got to say that. Leave that line to somebody else, man. That's just how I feel. Um No, Big is a storyteller. Pac was a poet, a lyricist, and a revolutionary. I mean, I do think Pac was a revolutionary for sure, and a poet. I don't think he was a better lyricist than Big, though. No. Big would say things and I'd be like, how was he thinking? Like stuff he was saying, I used to feel like it was ahead of his time. You know what I mean? Like it was certain things Big would say that I think was like, damn, that was a fire line. Like for him to be saying certain stuff he was saying. Now I'm not saying again, it was amazing lyricists in the 90s. But it was some stuff I was like, damn, like what? Yeah, but Big was a great storyteller though. Great storyteller. Cause to this day, I got a story to tell. people people be wondering who was the Knicks player that Big was talking about based upon that song and how the storytelling was. Yeah, the World Trade Center bar, all that. Man, what he was saying certain stuff like, I'd be like, man, how was he thinking of these lines at that time? All that battle rapping probably helped out in the long run. Yeah. Now people say it was Anthony Mason. That's what the long standing rumor is that it was Anthony Mason he was talking about. Right? Some people say Big wasn't talking about nobody, but he told the song so well. He wrote the story so well and painted the picture so well that people like it had to be a real guy. But yeah, Big was in no way, shape, form, or fashion a revolutionary. Big did not really, he did not make songs for black upliftment. He was making songs to talk about his street lifestyle, all the girls he had, all the women that liked him, how fly he was, how he was the dopest MC to ever come around, how dudes didn't want to F with him in no way, how him and his crew get down, and how he was at the pinnacle, how he was really Frank White. You know what I'm saying? King of New York, for real. Um, but an amazing rapper nonetheless. But Big didn't talk about nothing important. No, no. Amazing rapper, but he never talked about nothing important. And I think that's why Pac is more beloved universally than Big. I think because of the things that Pac was. And Pac had dual personalities. He had duality, right? He could talk about having threesomes with girls and getting around, but he could also speak upliftment to the people. He could uplift women in songs. He could talk about, standing in solidarity with black folks and all that. Big was just, I'm trying to party. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to sleep with all the girls I can. I'm the Don of this rap stuff. Me and my crew definitely we get down. How you heard we get down. We'll do this to you. We'll do that to you in the street. And that was what he was on. Said Staten Island hated Biggie. Now, here's another take that people don't like when I say this, right? Because especially when you think about when certain implications are made about what Diddy did to Big, right? A lot of people feel like, hey, he got Big offed. But I will say this: Diddy, Big getting with Diddy made him a rap superstar, right? I think Diddy packaged Big up to be a rap super. I think if he don't get with Diddy, I think he's a great rapper, but I don't know if he is a superstar in that way. Diddy molded him in the ilk to be a superstar with how he was dressing, how he was presented. You know what I'm saying? He was a street version of you know, cause like what's my man name? What's my man name? Godly. Heavy D, right? Heavy D was the overweight lover, the heavyweight lover, all of that, right? He was the playboy, the big dude that was fly. Diddy took that mold and amplified it with Big. Amplified it. Now Big was rapping street stuff. Biggie don't make Hypnotize. He don't make Big Papa. He don't make One More Chance if he not with Diddy. Big don't make that type of song. Yeah, Biggie was a street version like of Heavy D. He don't make them type of tracks if he don't get with Diddy. That was Diddy doing it. Diddy was really molding him to be the big dude that was fly, that was flat, that was cool though. He don't do a Juicy, right? Juicy. He don't do that if he not with Diddy. And I know that's a controversial take because people don't want to give Diddy credit for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Diddy has done a lot of foul things that people don't like about him, and I understand that. He's done a lot of heinous things out here, but I have to give credit where credit is due. You know, Big was rocking Versace and doing that because Diddy had him doing it. Diddy had him dressing in that ilk to present him in a certain way to the public. He knew, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, Big was not the most conventionally attractive person, right? And so if he just come in with that street bravado and just that street apparel, if there might be a limit to how far he could go in hip hop. But when you start styling them in the Versace and putting the Coogee sweaters on them and all of that, and you start making him a playboy with the street rap, you make him a player. With the street type of rap, it's even fine. Because let's be for real, Biggie's image was not a player before he got with Diddy. It was a street dude, right? But when you put him with Diddy, you package that street stuff with the smooth bravado, the smooth playboy player stuff. It took Biggie into another stratosphere. It did. It took him in another, like, for real. When you make Juicy, you make Sky's the Limit, One More Chance, Hypnotize, Big Papa. Oh man, your demographic is going to change. Your demographic is going to change. People be like, oh my God, okay. You're going to have girls say, oh, I can get with this, right? Yeah, them girls ain't going to rock with party and bullshit. But like you said, it's a great compare. Notorious B.I.G. was Juicy Hypnotized. When he got that, that's when he in that Notorious. That's when he really, really the Don for real. You know? So yeah, like party and bullshit, that's big. That's Biggie. Come on, kid, up, right? That's my dog. He say Diddy got his spot from being in DC. Then of course Andre Harrell, that uptown flavor, New Jack Swing. Yes, 100%. Shout out to Andre Harrell. Andre Harrell helped to mold Diddy into the businessman and the CEO that he became. Watching Andre Harrell, 100%. Rest in peace to Andre Harrell. Rest in peace to Andre Harrell. Yes. Now, Hypnotize was crazy lyrically, right? Now, Biggie had to pull it off. Big was big, and that's why he pulled it off, because he was a great rapper. But he was rapping on Hypnotize and stuff. 100%. Lyrically, it was still crazy. For real. But only Diddy was the one flipping them beats. And Diddy would use them old school, like he would be producing them tracks and telling people, hey, put that in there, put that in there. He ain't making the beats, but he's telling people, put that in there, put that sample, use that sample, put that hi-hat in there, put that drum right there, all of that. Diddy brought them samples in. Use that sample to mold and solidify that sound, for real. People love Heavy D. So women love street rappers too. DMX had the women going crazy. It's about swag and related, 100%. But what I'm saying, Black Mall, is Big is not, and here we go. Some people are gonna be like, why are you judging men? Women would look at DMX as more easy on the eyes than Big. So Diddy had to do some work to sell Big to the public, to women. He had to do some work with that, right? Because Big will tell you, heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Coogee down to the socks, rings and watch filled with rocks. And my jam knocks in your Mitsubishi. Girls pee-pee when they see me, never hoes creep me in they TP as I lay down laws like Alan Copy. Stop it. If you think we're gonna make a profit, at my joint. Hold on. But X was more easy on the eyes for girls to really gravitate to. Yeah. Yeah. You know, so they was gonna gravitate to him regardless. But Big, Diddy had to do some work on Big to really get him to sell to women in that way. Now let's be for real, because before Big got on, no disrespect, looked like Big wasn't no. I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say this at all. I'm not. Now, Kim was liking Big before he got famous. Kim was liking him 100%. But other than the Big ain't started getting like beautiful women like that till he got rich. Now they say he was a fly guy, he was funny and stuff, but like I think some of that. No, some women do like big dark men too. I'm not saying that. Yes, that's you're right. Everybody's not every what's attractive to one person is not attracted to the next. Right. I'm not saying that whatsoever. Just because you're a big dude, look, my uncle's big dudes and women always like them. Right. So that's not, I'm not saying if you're a big dark skinned dude, you're not gonna get no girls. And I'm not saying that at all. None whatsoever. So it's like, yes. Some women like all different type of guys that come in different sizes, different shapes, etc. 100%. But I think his charisma, I think Big's charisma went to another level as he became the notorious B.I.G. I think when he got with Diddy, his charisma went to another level. Because yeah, I really do think that. Some women do like Cedric, but Cedric, come on, Cedric a brother cap out for side now. You know what I'm saying? Cedric Entertainer fly with it. He gonna wear them hats. Cedric, you know what I'm saying? Cedric Entertainer is suave though. It's player like, you know what I mean? He gonna wear them hats, he gonna be sharp. That brother gonna be sharp as a porcupine. You know what I'm saying? Cap Alpha Psi showed him how to get that. You know, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be silky smooth, buttery smooth, baby. You know. Oh man. Why James talking about some women like dark skinned men with a cock eye? Lord. I think, but truthfully though, I think some of Cap Alpha Psi tomatoes. Hold on, hold on. Don't you do that about Cap Alpha Psi. Don't you do it about Kappa Alpha Psi. Some of the most profound men on this earth are brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It's some people that you love that are brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. It's some brothers that you love and respect who are members of Kappa Alpha Psi. Colin Kaepernick, brother of Kappa Alpha Psi. Penny Hardaway, Kappa Alpha Psi. Arthur Ashe, Kappa Alpha Psi. Wilt Chamberlain, Kappa Alpha Psi. Bill Russell, Kappa Alpha Psi. You know, Oscar Robertson, Kappa Alpha Psi. Machiavelli Mills, Kappa Alpha Psi. No, it's a lot of us. A lot of us out here, though. Lance Gross, Kappa Alpha Psi. Mike Tomlin, Kappa Alpha Psi. Talk that talk to him. I know how y'all women love Lance Gross. Hell, no, absolutely not. Diddy is not Kappa Alpha Psi in no way, shape, form, or fashion. So y'all Kappas is some legal bloods. Nope, nope, nope. Kappa Alpha Psi was around long before blood would ever thought about. Kappa Alpha Psi was created in 1911. The Bloods came well after that. The Bloods came well after that. Nah, Diddy not know Kappa at all. He never pledged nothing. It ain't I don't claim him. He's not a brother of Kappa Alpha Psi at all. The only I'll tell you everybody's brother's Kappa. This brother of Kappa Alpha Psi. Ed Reed, Kappa Alpha Psi. Y'all know Ed Reed. We got the basketball Holy Trinity. Kappa Alpha Psi got the basketball Holy Trinity. Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. There we go. Who get more play with the ladies, man? Kappa's a cute dog. You know I'm gonna say Kappa Alpha Psi now. You know I ain't finna. I'm not finna say no other one. I Kappa Alpha nah, but for real. Shout out to Omega Psi Phi. Jalen Hurts is Omega Psi Phi. My grandfather, God rest his soul, was Omega. He was a Q dog, Omega Psi Phi. You know, my grandfather was a Q. But you know, I went the other way. But my grandfather knew I was going that way. So it's all good. He go with this Calvary. You started it, user. You started it when you threw them tomatoes up in there. Oh, you said blue fire. That's why. Oh, blue fire. That's why you put them tomatoes up there. I get you. You know what I'm saying? That's why he said Kappa's always got to be the pretty boy. There's some rough, rugged looking brothers as Kappa Alpha Psi too. Nah, man. But I that's definitely Kappa stereotype. Kappa stereotype. Zeta all day, every day, gas you. Shout out to Zeta. Zeta Phi Beta. I had a lot of friends that were Zeta Phi Beta sorority incorporated. They be like Zeta Phi Beta. You gotta say Zeta. Yeah, I had a lot of real close friends that was in Zeta. Real good people that was close to me. Zeta. Zeta showed me love, man. Zeta show love all the time. I lost my lady to one of them cane using dog. Cane using. Now, hold on. Black Mall. Now we use the canes. Kappa Alpha Psi got the canes. The Qs don't use a cane at all. They just bark like dogs and throw up the hooks and all of that. Now Kappa Alpha Psi got them canes. You don't mean Zeta because Zeta's ours. That's a sorority. So my bad, y'all. Then yeah. So the cane twirling brother, them peppermint cane brothers be up to no good. Them peppermint cane brothers be up to no good. I knew. You said I thought you meant Coke. No. Them peppermint cane twirling brothers is up to no good once again. Nah, but look, my fraternity, my line brother in here right now. He said we got beef now, Mac. It's up from here on out. Hey, listen. Oh man, Kappas be having sayings. But look, whoever that brother is, if you ever see that brother, let me know. I will talk to that brother and tell him how he should be more brotherly and should be more he should act accordingly and stop trying to do stuff like that no more. I'm sure that brother has grown and evolved since that time he did that. I'm sure. But my line brother in the chat right now. His name is Nine. He was my ace. He was at the front of the line. I was at the back. I was at the back. He was at the front of the line. I don't know if my ace still up in here. He might have got up out of here. Said them peppermint boys be about to dislocate dislocate their shoulders with all that shimmy. Yeah, you know, the shimmy, the cane twirling. You know, I go to peppermint. Oh yeah, my line. There you go. Look, this is my ace, y'all. That's my ace. That's my line brother. He's at the front. Yo to the news, man. You know? Man, I ain't got it on my neck. I got a five chain, a little five. Cause you know, I was the live five and he was the one. But anyway, I'm getting to a whole lot of other talk. But anyway, is one of your favorite movies Stomp the Yard? Of course, Black Mall, Stomp the Yard and Drumline. Stomp the Yard and Drumline, some of my favorite movies, man. I saw Stump the Yard when it came out in 07, and I knew I was going to college then. You say number 6. Okay. Shout out to number 6, man. But yeah, so Stomp the Yard is definitely one of my favorite movies, man. I knew I was going to college anyway because I was a scholarly kid, but I was like, man, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna go do my thing. I didn't know if I was gonna be a brother in a fraternity or not, but I know it was really cool to watch in the movie. Uh, then I saw I didn't see School Days until I got to college. That's weird, right? It's so crazy. I didn't watch School Days until like my second year of college, which is wild. But Drumline, yes, Drumline had me. It's so crazy. My first roommate in college when he was in the band, he was from Detroit, Michigan. He went to Cass Tech. Um, yeah, bro, I didn't see School Days till like my second year of college. Honey, that's crazy. As crazy as it sounds. Yes, my grandfather would talk about School Days all the time, but I never watched it till I got to college. But yeah, Drumline, love that movie. So that's a comfort movie for me. Drumline is really like when I'm having a rough day or a bad day, I throw on Drumline. For real. You know? Hey, hold on, man. What D say? Hello. D say you gotta be a mentally strong brother to make it with the Qs. Hey, LB, tell her that you gotta be a mentally strong brother to play a State of Milk. Cap Alpha Psi. You hear me? Cause that shimmy just for y'all, for the girls. Cause State of Milk chapter Cap Alpha Psi, don't be playing. You know what I'm saying? Don't be playing. And a lot of stuff. Theta Mu chapter Cap Alpha Psi. What? Makes a different type of noob. I swear, them hey, boy, look. Oh man. It's I remember seeing Drumline in theaters when I was 9. See, and that's the thing, man. Like Drumline did come out when we was we 8 or 9? That was 02 or 2001. Cause me and you the same age, bro. So that had to be 2002 then. Drumline had to come out. If you was 9, I was 9. So that had to be 2002. Drumline, man, like it put so much, like when I got to college and my roommate was in the band, um, bruh, like it really put all that into perspective for me. For real. Cause my roommate, that band stuff was so for real. He would be out all night doing band stuff, getting bit up by mosquitoes outside, practicing with the band. He'd have his white t-shirt on, all of that, him and his bandmates that had their white t-shirts on. They always be together. They always be one. It was like, dang, the band for stuff is for real, man. And he was from Detroit, Michigan, and we bonded over the fact that we were both city kids. And he would play these songs. I would play my Chicago music. At the time, the drill movement was just starting to bubble out of Chicago. And so the drill movement was just starting to get big, and I was playing a lot of like Lil Durk, Lil Reese, King Louis, Chief Keef. I was playing a lot of that, and he was playing a lot of Detroit guys, like Stretch Money, dude. Like it takes money to make money. I can't let it get away from me. And that joint was hard. He would play that, and that would be like that would be our little pick me up. He would play a lot of Blade Icewood and stuff like that. And so I was listening to a lot of that music from being around him. My dog Chip. He said, okay, so you are the age of my oldest child. I was in a marching band practice when I learned I was pregnant with her. Wow. For real? What school? Wait, were you in high school or were you in college at the time? Yeah, so I'm 32. I believe Keepy D is telling the truth about Diddy in the Pac situation. You clearly don't, though. Why? Even a private investigator, whose names I can't remember, said he believes him. King Louis, to live and die in Chicago. Only reason I don't, I just think that because I think that I don't think Diddy had anything to do with that situation, because I just think that Pac stomped out a known killer, Orlando Anderson, and he inserted himself in street politics he shouldn't have been a part of. And I think Orlando Anderson just came and got get back for Pac stomping him out and embarrassing him in public. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say that I don't think Diddy wanted. I think Diddy wanted to do something to Pac. I think he wanted Pac touched all the way. But I just think Orlando Anderson got to him quicker than what Diddy did. I think when he put hands on Orlando Anderson, that expedited everything. And Orlando Anderson took matters into his own hands and said, you know what? This rapping dude gonna stomp me out and embarrass me in public and jump me. I'm gonna do something about it, because Orlando Anderson was a dude who had a feared reputation in the street. He was known for doing stuff to, and handling himself in the street in a vicious manner. And I think Pac just chose to jump the wrong individual, and he came back, to bite him in the end, unfortunately. Luckily, Orlando Karma spun the block. Yeah, a few years later, Orlando Anderson, lost his life. Ooh, who I got? Oshaki Foster, Steph Fulton. Woo! I like both of them brothers, man. I like both of them brothers. Shoot. I might go with Fulton. Cool boy. I might go with Cool Boy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Pitbull or Roach? I'm gonna go with Lamont Roach. Pitbull, and he didn't, he fought better recently. But I think Lamont can handle him, man. I think Lamont can handle him. You just reminded me that the fight was this weekend, because I almost forgot, brother. I almost forgot, brother. Pac probably in heaven screaming down, stop saying Puff did. He probably like, Puff ain't get me. It wasn't no Puffy that got me. It wasn't no Puffy. You see, Bud had to give up the title. Yes. And we're going to talk about that in the video format. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I always thought it's ridiculous that you got to pay money to have the belts. Like, I think that's crazy that you got to pay these sanctioning fees. What's crazy is that before Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fought, Errol Spence was in like he in the lead up of the fights. He was saying, "Yo, we got to see where did this money go for these sanctioning fees." I think it's crazy that we got to pay 3%, and we don't know where the money is going. We don't know if the money is going to help these fighters who are who have taken damage in the ring, who need the money. Is it even going to them? And so flash forward, now we get Terrence Crawford saying, yo, like, this money be going to Mauricio Suleiman so he can eat and drink with his friends and all of that. He like, yo, because Terrence Crawford paid the other sanctioning bodies a flat fee. The WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, who's the president of the WBC, World Boxing Council, say, yo, we need more money than that. And they telling Terrence, you better be lucky we cutting you a break, because we could charge you 3%, but instead we're going to charge you 0.06% and only 300,000. 300,000 is way too much. I don't care. That's crazy. And Terrence Crawford say, I'm not paying that. So you can just take my belt. I don't need the belt. It's just a trophy. The ring belt is the one that matters, the one that's free. That's the belt that everybody used to get back in the day. That's the belt you used to get back in the day as the champion. That was the one, right? So he like, I don't need the belt. Everybody know what I did. Everybody know I am undisputed. I am the undisputed champion. It doesn't matter if I got the belt or not. And he tells Mauricio Suleiman, you just mad because you was rooting for Canelo. I went in there and I beat Canelo soundly, and you feel a way about that. That's okay, Mauricio, but I'm not paying that fee. F you. Take the belt if you want to. I already been stripped before by the IBF when he was at 147 pounds. So he like, I don't care. He like, yo, it's crazy though that you trying to strip me for not paying these sanctioning fees, but you let Canelo any fight he wanted to fight. You let him duck his mandatory for forever. Yes, Black Mall, as you saying it. You let him go around and not fight Benavidez for the longest of time. You let him do what he wanted to do, and he was not stripped at all. Matter of fact, the WBC is letting Ryan Garcia, fight for a title after he coming off a loss, right? And then all that racist, that anti-black racist stuff he was spewing, he still get to fight for a title after coming off of a loss. So like, yo, what do the WBC, what do that mean anyway? I don't care because I know it's a flawed system over there. So I'm not finna pay the 300K. You just finna be mad. But I think it's crazy that Mauricio Suleiman wants Terence Crawford to apologize and start talking about he forgot how he got that 50 million. He got that 50 million because the fans wanted to see that fight, because there was a clamor for that fight. There was a want and desire for people to see them in the ring, right? And he went and earned that money after he, whooped on Canelo, right? So it ain't just because the WBC, Canelo is their boy. So he looking like, yo, he got to remember how he made that money. Yeah, okay, you part of one of the sanctioning bodies that you got one of the belts, but the fight was made. Turkey and them came in and made that fight get happen. So, yeah, I love the sport of boxing. It's just the business side is really very flawed. It's crazy. And I feel like I respect Terence Crawford all the way for saying it. Like, how y'all gonna you want to strip me? You mad at me? I told Terence Crawford to pay this amount. I'm not even charging him the full 3%, because the 3% would have been like 1.5 million. We're only charging 300,000. Terence like, I'm not paying that, so it is what it is. And he's not the only one to say that. Miguel Cotto denied paying 300,000 for the WBC belt one time. Like, yo, do what you want to do. I'm not paying that, right? Floyd Mayweather, and I said this before, the only reason Floyd Mayweather was never undisputed champion was because he didn't believe in paying all of them sanctioning fees to have all of the belts. He said, it does not matter if I got all the belts. As long as I beat the top guys, as long as I beat them, I don't care about being undisputed. People know what I've done. They know my skill set. They know when I get in the ring with these dudes, I dismantle them, I disarm them, and I win easily. So it doesn't matter if I'm undisputed or not. So that's the only reason why Floyd Mayweather isn't undisputed. It's not because of lack of talent or him being afraid of other fighters. He could have easily been undisputed at 135, 140, right? Could have easily been undisputed then. He's just like, I'm not paying all of that money to have all them belts. And I feel it. So yeah, man, users say off topic, but that Tony Yayo video had me rolling. Yayo was like Steven and Django Unchained. Boy, Yayo do whatever. Boy, thank you, 50. 50 had me eating boiled beavers in Battery Park. I was in Battery Park drinking flavored battery acid. Thanks to 50. Thank you, 50. Thank you, 50. 50. 50 call my phone right now. My kids on the other line, I tell them, I'm going to call y'all back. I'm talking to your real father right now. Yayo be killing me, man. Tank fans are the worst. It's a channel on here that's extremely pro Tank, cheering for Bud being strict. Who are you talking about? I'm trying to think who you talking about. I refuse to say his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Blue Blood stays calling him out. Oh, okay. I got you. I think I know who you're talking about now. Yeah. Oh, KO Boxing. Dang, who is that? I don't know. I think I know him. Hold on. What's going to be a next video topic? I'm probably going to do a video about the situation with Bud Crawford. Trying to think what else I can do, because I had some topics. Like, a lot of times I put topics in my phone and then I get around to doing them. That was something else I wanted to talk about as well. It's in my in my phone. I forgot. I be like putting topics down and then be forgetting what I be putting down until I go look at it. Damn, what else I was gonna what else I finna talk about? Golly. It was something else. It was something. I had to go look at my phone, man. Sometimes I be having so much going on. Some of my stuff I be forgetting stuff, and I go back like, oh, that's what I'm finna talk about. 300,000 you gotta pay. Did you speak on Jewels? I didn't speak on Jewels, but I could have. I ain't know if it was too late to get around to that topic, but Jewels out his mind talking about you need to know how to do math more than read. But brother, what is the good of knowing math if you can't read? So you know all this money stuff, but you can't read a contract. What is the good in that? What is the good in that? You know all the money stuff, but you don't know how to read a contract. So now you getting your pockets ripped off. That's fool. That's silly. You know. What are your thoughts on the game wanting to sign Kendrick? I don't know what to believe from Jayceon Taylor. Truthfully, the game be lying so much. Like he just be saying stuff unprovoked. He will come out with lies just because. So it's like I don't really be knowing what to think of it, even though Kendrick's homie is like saying that's not true. And Whack 100 is even co-signing it. Like if he said that, then it's definitely not true that he was trying to sign him. He said we got to talk about how LeBron has played 20 years and walked away with 1 scoring title and 1 assist title. No steals or block titles, but he is the GOAT. Hey, listen, that's like saying I don't got LeBron as the GOAT, Black Mall. But Floyd Mayweather was never undisputed, baby. You telling me some of these dudes that was undisputed is better than Floyd Mayweather? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? Yeah, Wack is his manager. So that's like a conflict. I think they got into a little conflict because of Wack said that. Nah, he's not the GOAT, but he is one of the greatest, right? The greatest of his generation, for sure. But he was never undisputed champion, right? So I'm saying, so it's like if we gonna say Kevin Durant got more scoring titles than LeBron James, but is Kevin Durant a better basketball player than LeBron James? Nope. Nope. Hold on. Marvin was a welterweight? Black Mom? I know Marvin making his bones at middleweight. T-Mac, right. Tracy McGrady's a scoring champion. But we know he ain't better than LeBron James. Not at all. So, yeah. Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Marvin was a middleweight. Yeah, I'm gonna say Marvin was a middleweight. Yeah. I know him for being middleweight. It's just more than just scoring titles. Got you. Ray fought Marvin. Yeah, at middleweight. Yeah. Fought Marvin at middleweight. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But hey, y'all, man, look, I'm about to get off this thing real quick. Gotta go make a run. I appreciate everybody that came on here and show love, came in, provided their insight. Even if they disagree with me, I appreciate all y'all coming in and providing y'all 2 cents is greatly appreciated. This is a respectful conversation, even though people disagree. And so I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all a little later on, get some content to y'all a little later on, and we gonna reconvene later, man. As y'all see, I'm live from my son's room. So yeah. But I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.